Hi, Nita here. I'm going to talk to you guys about play. Okay, so I kind of wish I had my kids playing with me so I could role model this a little bit, but it wouldn't work so well. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it and try to explain some of the concepts of it right here for a minute. So there's a couple different stages of play that I'm going to go over with you. There's unoccupied play, where the kid is just learning about their body. This is typically when they're a baby, a little bit older, depending on the child. And they're just learning how to manipulate their fingers. They're maybe grabbing at a toy, or they're um, feeling their own feet and toes. Then you get to the solitary play where they're maybe using a rattle or some blocks. They're holding something in their hand. Usually a ball is a pretty good one that they will go after. Um, and they'll interact with an object for a little while. Eventually, they get to a place where they're either a spectator and onlooker, so they're watching what's happening with your play. Play is something that you learn how to do. It's learned. It's not um, something that you do develop it in some ways, but they're going to watch how to do that. They're going to see how other people do that, how the interactions are happening so that they can mimic it. Um, and especially for our kiddos who have a delay or disability, I shouldn't say delay, a disability, something that makes them unique and different in the way they process things, they're going to see a situation differently. And so it might take them more work to learn how to play. Play is work as well. When a child's at, especially in preschool, okay, our whole life, we play. We learn through play, through doing things. It's our experiences that help us develop a relationship with someone. It's our experiences and what we do or how we've seen other people do things that allow us to have conversations, that allow us to have a job and what we do in those jobs, to have fun and go to a movie. I know we can't go to movies right now. We're out to eat, whatever. Go to the park, any of those things that we would have liked to be able to do or have done. Um, those interactions are through play. It's through learning. It's through interacting and doing. And so play is that. It's a lot of hard work. You'll find with some of our kiddos when they work with us as teachers, or they work with their parents, like they're playing with you, and they're having a hard time, or they get to a point where they just seem really tired, and you're like, you just got up. It's because they're doing a lot of hard work. They're not mentally able, emotionally able to get through the whole process, and they might need some time of a break. Maybe they can only handle 5-10 minutes of play, of interacting, before they need a bit of a break to be able to go on and do something else. So don't get discouraged. Don't think, oh my goodness, what's wrong with my kid? This is normal. This is something that everybody has to get through. Everybody develops at different stages, and everyone interacts and has those experiences in a different way. All right, so you have a stage where the kids are just watching, they're seeing you do it. And then there's parallel play. And this usually happens with a peer, but since we are currently not as much interacting with school or playgrounds or daycares or anything like that, you're at home right now. Um, you're going to be the peer for the child. You're going to be like their playmate, or maybe they have a sibling that they could have, you could prompt and help do. So I'm going to do a little bit of a role model. And ideally, it'd be nice if you had like two of the same objects. So like if my kid has some cars, I'm going to have some cars too, and we're going to play at the same time with those objects. But you're going to watch your child. Your child is the one deciding to some extent what's happening. So parallel play is when my child has a dinosaur. Let's say he's playing with his dinosaur, rawr, 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 and I don't have a dinosaur. We just have the one right now. And so I'm going to choose something else. Well, you know what? Raw, raw, raw. Tigers kind of make that sound too. And maybe I'll do some other just animals, you know, bear, and I could have them playing. Okay, so I have these magnetic toys. My kid's doing the dinosaur over on the side, and I'm going to go rawr, rawr. I'm just mimicking what they're doing to some extent. Or I might add a little bit like, I want to play. Do you want to play with me? Sure. Let's play together. And we're chasing each other, rah, 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 and I'm moving them around. My kid is going to be watching that. My kid might still be just doing the dinosaur rah, 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 and doing their own thing. But you're going to do this every day for a little bit, you know, 5, 10 minutes, 15, half an hour, depending on what time you have, because you're trying to do other things too, and depending on what they're willing to do. At some point, my kid might decide that what I have, they want to play with. And so they might come in and they try to grab what's in my hand. And I'm going to say, okay, you can play too. How about you use the bear or the tiger? Which one do you want? And I'm going to try to pull them in to engaging with me. This is what I do want. I want that play. I want that conversation. And they're going to point. Well, maybe they're going to pout and say, no, they want all the toys. Well, you can ask then for a turn. And you're going to model, what does it look like to ask for a turn? I want a turn, please. So then you're going to give them the words if they don't have it yet. And you're going to hand over hand, you know? So let's say this is my kid's hand. I'm going to hold their hand and I'm going to move it and say, turn. And then I'm going to give them the toy right away. Right away, I'm going to give them what they want because I'm trying to show them how to interact, how to have that social interaction and communication. Because when I don't have that, when they're upset, they're going to start escalating and having behaviors that I don't want to see. Some behaviors are good, some behaviors aren't good. So I don't want the yelling, the screaming, the hitting. I want them to understand how to communicate with me and how to engage me. Yes, I want that social connection. I want to play with them. I want to talk with them, but they might not be there yet. All right, so I'm going to practice that parallel play with them. I'm going to play at the same time as my child's playing. And we might be playing with something slightly different, but as close to the same thing as possible. Okay, as much as possible, try to find the similar items in the house. And then again, trying to pull them in. Maybe if it's a dinosaur right now, because that's what I've got with me, and he's going rah, 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 I might, at some point here, I'm going to start trying to interact. And I'm going to bring my little bear and I'm going to go rah at him. And I'm going to see, is he going to roar back at me? Or is he going to ignore me and walk away? Okay, maybe he'll go play somewhere else, not want to engage me. Maybe later come back and I'll try it again. Again, parallel play for a while. Later, we get associative play. Associative play is when our child is able to interact at a stage that's slightly more engaging, okay? So they might play in the same area, they might play on the same equipment, they might recognize that you're there, okay? So he's might play in the same play area. So like, let's say it's a sandbox and we're playing with a shovels. He might put some sand over on my area, I might put some sand on his. It's not the same, we're not playing back and forth. We just have a space that we're aware of using together. And then there's cooperative play. This is where we're playing together, we're talking together, we're roaring at each other, rah, rah, okay, we're doing things interactively. And it's taking a little more than one interaction. There's a little more going on. And that's the goal we have for all of them, because once you have interactive play, then you have interactive communication, then you have interactive learning, then you have the ability to cooperatively deal with a problem. Then we're problem solving. Now we're playing together. Now we're asking if we can play with the other child. Then we move on to doing schoolwork and eventually getting a job and having friends and going places and doing things with our friends and with our family. So all of it builds to that. But just because you're stuck at or feel stuck at a place where they're just watching you, or they're not even engaging in play, or they're parallel playing, they're not really wanting to play with you or anyone else yet, doesn't mean that we're not going to get there. It just means we have to be more intentional about our teaching process and our learning process through those stages of play. So, hope that helps. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know how it goes, and I'll be in touch soon.